Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Penderwicks At Last, Chapter 21, The Rest of the Family. Now, this chapter starts with Lydia, and she says goodbye to, all these people, and then she just starts thinking, man, Mom and Dad are going to come home soon, and then we're going to have the wedding, and then we're going to have to go home. And she just starts feeling homesick all over again. She kind of goes out into the field and rolls around, and it's just in nature. And then she tries to just get over it. Just, let me just enjoy what's here. And so she hears the car or the music, I think, from Uncle Turin. And so she goes and sees him and the family, and there's him and a bunch of kids and other dogs, I think. And then these band t-shirts that one of the cousins is named after, and he doesn't like it. And they just talk and chat for a little bit. We can't remember if anything important happens, but then Lydia decides to go see Aunt Claire. And Aunt Claire's a little bit more exciting because all her sisters are there, and they all look beautiful, and Batty is saving spiders. But after that's done, Aunt Claire starts to pass out some pictures. And these pictures are of when Mr. Penderwick and his first wife got married. And so they're looking at him and they're like, oh, look how young they look. And, oh, your mom would be so proud if you were here. And it's all touching and it's emotional. And then they're about ready to cry. And then someone says a joke. I can't remember what happens. Something funny happens and they all start laughing, and it's okay. Mr. and Mrs. Penderwick arrive. And, there are more hugs and things like that. And then it's time for Dad to start practicing. So Lydia tries to show Mr. Penderwick how they're going to walk down the aisle and how everything's going to happen. And Mr. Penderwick is just like, I don't get it. I can't picture it. I don't know what's going on. And so Lydia's practicing again and again and again and again until finally, Lydia's holding his arm, or probably this way. And they're walking down the aisle, and Mr. Penderwick is like, okay, I think I got it. Thank you, Lydia. I'm so glad to have a daughter like you. Please don't get married for a while. And then they hear, oh, oh, oh. I don't know how to make the bird call, but they hear this bird call. And then Lydia asks Mr. Penderwick to do another bird call, and he's actually pretty good. So he does a bird call, and Alice comes running to them. And when Alice gets there, Alice is just like sharing everything, her whole story, and introducing herself to Mr. Penderwick. And okay, there was one more thing I wanted to mention. Alice says, oh, Mr. Penderwick, Lydia has been such a good influence on me. And Lydia gets angry, and Mr. Penderwick's like, don't worry, she's been a good influence on me too. And Lydia's getting more angry because she's not a good influence. And Yantha says, don't worry, you're not a good influence on me. And that makes Lydia feel a little bit better. And I think that's how the chapter ends, with them laughing, practicing again, laughing, and then ending. There were a lot of vocabulary words in this chapter, so let's get to them. The first one is deluge, and that's like a pouring of rain. I think if you remember, Lydia's crying while she's rolling in the field, and then one of her tears hits this poor little beetle, and the beetle's like, hey, what's going on? And starts to run away. this rain is heavy and pouring. For us, it's just a tear. But for this little beetle, it's like this huge flood of water. It's like a flood, but with rain. Infuriating. Infuriating means to make someone mad. I can't remember where this happens in the story. Maybe Turin is infuriating his son or something. I can't remember. But he's making that individual upset. Desertion. Desertion is being left alone. Again, I can't remember when in the story this word is used, but the word itself means leaving someone, leaving that team alone, and you go off, or someone leaving you alone, like maybe a team left you alone. And again, this could be with the sons in Turin. I'm not too sure. Maybe one of them left or quit or ran away or something. Arachnid, I do remember this one. This is with Batty, and Batty's scooping up the spider. Arachnid is another way to call a spider, but I think it kind of means any creature with maybe 8 legs is an arachnid. Because some, like tarantulas, those aren't spiders, but I think they're still an arachnid. I'm not too sure, but like a spider or a spider. Serene. Serene is like peaceful, beautiful, clear, yeah, almost like holy in a way, but peaceful is probably the best way. I can't remember maybe if someone looked serene or if the situation was serene, but just a description. Simpatico means it means like compatible, but I want to see easier way to say it. Means that you work well with, or you can be combined with. For example, if you think water and oil, those don't mix well. They don't combine. They're not simpatico. But if you think of something else that can come together really easily, that's kind of what the word means. And so Batty, with all forms of life, they say, with a flower or a bug or a dog, Batty has this power to connect and to understand and to be together with. And so when Batty lets this spider go, this is not real, right? This is just kind of a way they describe her, but she can feel the feeling of the spider and know that it was happy to join its friends. Delirious. Delirious means like a little bit like crazy, but maybe like dizzy kind of crazy. Like you're seeing things and you're like, whoa! Maybe right when you wake up from going to sleep, or right after you wake up after a long night of sleep, maybe in the middle of the night, someone's like, hey, wake up! And you're like, what's going on? And you still kind of come out of that dream, and maybe you can see the dream a little bit. Like with little kids, this can especially happen. But it's this this kind of crazy, not quite in your mind way, but it's not that bad of a sound. And I think in this case someone was deliriously laughing. So it's just they're laughing so hard they just kind of get dizzy, or they look a little crazy, in a good way, when they're laughing. Exploited. Exploited means to be taken advantage of. So someone using you in a way that hurts you but benefits them. that's kind of exploited. And again, sorry, this chapter was, I guess, pretty long, and I can't remember where in the story and how it's used. Exploited. Can't remember. Mulling is just like thinking and thinking and thinking and chewing on an idea and just keep talking about it and keep repeating it and going over and over again. And I think the last one, solemnity, is like when Mr. Penderwick tells Alice, what's he say? You've been a good influence on my daughter? Oh, no. She hasn't been homesick because she's had so much fun with you. And then Alice is like, oh, wow. She really takes it to heart. She takes it very seriously. And Alice gets like, oh, I have that power. Wow. So she kind of feels like really special and quiet and important. And then they go back into having fun. And that is all the vocabulary. Well, a discussion question I would like to ask is, how do you think your dad would feel if you were getting married? I know that's kind of a hard topic. Maybe it's a few years away. But kind of imagine Mr. Penderwick, right? He's just like, what's going on? My 2 baby girls are getting married. No, of course, they're not babies anymore. But for him, his daughters will always be his daughters, right? Oh, we can tell in the story that he's having a hard time with this. But what about your dad? What do you think? You can be your mom too. How do you think they would feel, what they would do if you were about to get married? And of course, please write your own discussion question. What did you think about? What interested you while you were reading this chapter? Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.